A7 series.
Alright, let's move on to the Alpha 7 series, aka A7. Full-frame sensor cameras, the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop, and possibly the most confusing lineup because it spawns multiple categories. A7R, A7S, A7C, not to mention Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, Mark 4, Mark 5. It's like Eevee from Pokemon, except instead of evolution stones, you use your credit card. Good or bad analogy? Evolve, damn you. It may not be the right analogy, but at least it's the Vong analogy. But for the sake of easy understanding, we'll start off with what I like to call the base A7 cameras. And these don't have letters between the numbers, and these are gonna be one step up from your A6000 series. Like the A6000 series, these are all excellent hybrid cameras. But as you would guess, the larger sensor grants us even more background blur, even less noise and grain in low light, and even better dynamic range. On top of that, better workflow, i.e. better ergonomics, bigger grip, more custom buttons, 2 card slots, better EVF and LCD screen resolution. These are definitely geared more towards professionals, but they are considered relatively affordable in the grand scheme of things. And the two that I think that are worth looking into are the A7 III and the A7 IV if you're interested in full-frame cameras. But let's move on to the letters category, the A7R and the A7S. The R in the A7R stands for resolution, which means higher megapixel counts for photography, excellent for landscapes, architectures, and anything with fine details. Or if you're someone who enjoys cropping into your photos a lot, it would still maintain excellent amount of quality. And for your reference,
The A7 III is a 24 megapixel camera, the A7 IV is 33 megapixels, the A7R III is 42 megapixels, and both the A7R4 and 5 are 61 megapixels.
And here are the pricing difference between the A7Rs against their base counterparts.
Your relationship is at risk if you do not seek permission before purchasing these or any other camera equipment.
Now, I would only recommend the R series if you shot full frame for a while now, and you can definitely take advantage of the high resolution, either for admiring purposes or for cropping purposes. I would say go straight for the A7R5 because it is simply the best. Skip the A7R4 because it wasn't a significant update over the A7R3. And between the A7R3 and the 33 megapixel A7 IV, I go with the A7 IV just because the user experience and user interface are a lot better. Jeez, that was a lot of 3s and A7s and 4s right there, am I right? Moving on to the next letter. The S in the A7S stands for sensor, aka Sony's famous low light sensor. Sounds like a hamburger joint. Sony's famous low-light hamburgers.
Mine's a low-light cheeseburger.
So in many people's opinion, besides the insane autofocus system, this is what puts Sony on the map for a lot of professionals, especially in the video and filmmaking community. Because this camera here can literally see into the dark. You can shoot at crazy high ISO and see significantly less noise and grain in your photos and videos compared to a lot of cameras out there. However, this tech, according to Sony, is only achievable because of the lower megapixel count. The A7S only has 12 megapixels, which I must emphasize is plenty enough for 4K videos. But for photos, there is just less room to crop before you start losing quality. But if you don't crop much, you'll be fine. So as you can see, the A7R and the A7S have two distinct areas they truly shine the most in. And luckily for us, there's only one A7S model to choose from, the Mark III for $3,500.